Remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Only you.
Me? Only me? That's a lot of pressure. I don't even go outside all that much. We all know this character, the shirtless bear in jeans and a hat, trying to prevent the sins of Prometheus from burning down his home. Or do we know him? I'm going to start this video by telling you something that will mess with your head. This guy. Look at this guy. Who is he? What is his name? Oh, Smokey the Bear, you say. Wrong. There is no the. He is just Smokey Bear. I watched a bunch of his PSAs just to make sure that the National Forest Service and the Ad Council aren't dirty liars.
Smokey Bear.
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 Hi, I'm Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bears.
It's Smokey Bear.
I'm Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear.
My name is Smokey Bear.
There are also like PSAs and contest entries from other local and state government agencies.
Smokey Bear, Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear is here to defend.
Smokey Bear.
Pop culture and the news media continue to refer to him as Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear is entering his golden years.
Today, Smokey the Bear is turning 70.
Smokey the Bear celebrated his 70th birthday yesterday.
This is the first Smokey the Bear sign in Harrison County.
Jimmy Kimmel apparently learned the truth a few months ago.
It's not Smokey the Bear, it's Smokey Bear. I found out there's no "the" in the name, which I have to say shook me to the core. 50 years I've been saying Smokey the Bear.
However, there are a few times where semi-official sources messed up. For example, in 1952, two guys named Steve Nelson and Jack Rowlands wrote a song titled Smokey the Bear. They added "the" to make the lyrics fit better with the music.
Smokey the Bear, Smokey the Bear, prowling and a growling and a sniffing the air.
And in watching pretty much every single Smokey PSA ever, I discovered that the Ad Council messed up in 1960.
I'll tell you, said Smokey the Bear. That's a good job, said Smokey the Bear.
It has been our pleasure to present the preceding story of Smokey and the Little Boy in cooperation with the Advertising Council as a public service.
They call him Smokey the Bear in this PSA. So, yeah. There was also a Dell Comics series published right around the same time, the late 50s and early 60s, and they used Smokey the Bear in the title of the comics. But when they adapted it later for a cartoon, they did correct the title, and it does seem like the comic titles were corrected sometime during the initial publication. I was trying to look more into the comics because apparently they don't really talk about forest fires. No, they deal with topics like communism, or two weasels trying to feed a baby bird to a bobcat so they can take pictures and then sell the pictures to a magazine. It sounds wild, but in order to really learn everything I want to know, I would probably have to buy the old comics on eBay or something. I want to say something like, if this video gets 100 likes, I'll buy and review the old Smokey Bear comics. But I don't remember in searching how much they cost, so I don't want to make that promise. But I would consider it. I did find a very odd Pinterest post from a Jerry P who talks about how after the comic was published, we had a training on how to never use "the" with any Smokey Bear presentations. However, I couldn't verify that a Jerry P had worked at Dell Comics, either during that era or at any time. But, I mean, it sounds like it could be true. But yeah, other than those things, it's Smokey Bear and not Smokey the Bear. What is it with bears and the Mandela Effect? Just in case you don't know, the Mandela Effect is a term that refers to a seemingly collective memory that turns out to be inaccurate. The term was coined because apparently a lot of people believed that Nelson Mandela was dead, like long before when he actually died in 2013, because they had very specific and similar memories of the news related to his death or images of the funeral, but it turned out just not to be real. Another example is the Berenstain Bears. A lot of people, including me, remember them as being the Berenstein Bears, but no, it was never Berenstein. It was always Berenstain. By the way, Smokey's tagline used to be, "Only you can prevent forest fires."
Only you can prevent forest fires.
But they changed it, so now it's "Only you can prevent wildfires."
Only you can prevent wildfires. Fire!
So you may hear it and think that's another Mandela Effect thing, but no, it was actually different before. Okay, so now that you are questioning your own sanity, I want to show you a very specific PSA from 1973 featuring the actress Joanna Cassidy. And the less I say beforehand, the better.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
I've tried to make sense of this. Joanna Cassidy would later go on to star in many popular TV shows and movies. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Blade Runner, 6 Feet Under, the original Mission Impossible TV series. But in 1973, she had only been in like 2 things. So it's not like she had some sort of like iconic character or some sort of regular type that she played where this sort of demeanor would make sense. I can't figure out why they made this. It's so creepy. Were drugs involved? I don't know. That would be a different PSA. By the way, this isn't the only weird Smokey Bear PSA. The Smokey Bear Association has them all archived. There are also PSAs from the Smokey era, but without Smokey in them. This one is called Bomb in the Forest, and it is just continuous footage of a bomb exploding.
We destroyed 10,000 square miles of America last year. That's more land than 90 hydrogen bombs would destroy.
Rod Sterling turns his PSA into a Twilight Zone episode about murder.
Ed Morgan, everyman. Anyone who handles fire in any form is a potential killer.
This one takes place in a post-tree dystopia.
Because without trees, there's no air, so everything dies.
Grandpa, I wish I can bring back the trees for you.
It's worth noting, there is a dark side to Smokey Bear. You see, some of his efforts have backfired. Backfired. Get it? Fire, because fire. He is so effective that now people are terrified of any kind of forest-related fire, even pre-planned controlled burns. Apparently, pre-planned burns are good for forests. They reduce overgrowth and actually make them less flammable. But now officials are scared to do these controlled burns because of public perception and shaming. And as a result, forests have now gotten incredibly overgrown and extra flammable. So now forest fires are able to do more damage than ever before. Which is why you've got these like guns or glitter, gender reveal gone wrong situations taking out half the trees in California. There were 3 different like gun related gender reveal terms that I could find. There was guns or glitter, rifles or ruffles, And pistols or pearls. What if you have a girl and she likes guns? But we all still love Smokey Bear. Just not as much as this lady.
I love the manly way you say, put out fires, put matches away. I think I love you, Smokey Bear.
Smokey goes down to the burning ring of fire. He scrapes, shovels, sprays, and the flames expire.